through the program, honor the folks, and get on with the business of honoring business in Montgomery County. I give you Unyang.
Thank you, IJ. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, IJ. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you getting everyone settled in. He was calling people out by name. That's pretty strong. So thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. And welcome to the 8th annual induction ceremony for the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame. As IJ mentioned, I'm Un Yang. I'm the morning anchor on NBC4. So my day starts way before you even think about waking up. My alarm clock goes off at 2:15. I've been here many years, so you probably know that already. Yes, I'm on the air at 4 a.m. And so I've worked a full day already, and here I am joining you for lunch. So thank you very much. Thank you. I am also a proud product of Montgomery County Schools. I grew up in Montgomery County in Silver Spring, Maryland, and I'm a proud graduate of the University of Maryland. Yay! Terps! It's very helpful because I wear red for the Terps, but also for the Nats, right? Who's been sleeping? I've watched every single game on my schedule. It's been very, very bad. I'm hoping we pull out a game win today, so that we can have a Game 7 tomorrow and then have a parade, just like that, easy. But I have served as the MC for the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame induction ceremony every year since its founding in 2012. That's a long time. Everything's changed. You know, I have 2 teenage sons living in my house right now. I don't hardly even recognize who these people are, but they're there eating all my food and making me a little crazy. But I still love them. I do want to let you know that there will be no break during the program, so please continue to enjoy your meals. I won't be offended if you continue to eat, and try not to chat too much, but if you feel like you need to go ahead, start your meals, we can get the program through today, that will be just fine. Before the program does get started, though, we do ask that you silence your cell phones. Can I tell you, I went to a wedding recently, and the phone went off during the vows. It was very awkward. Very awkward. So don't let that happen. It was 8 years ago that Grossberg Company and Revere Bank partnered to establish the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame. And from the beginning, the hall envisioned it as a way to honor the businessmen and women who have both enriched the corporate climate here in Montgomery County and, of course, enhance the county's quality of life, which is already great. Over 34 individuals have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and many of them, along with a number of VIPs, are here this afternoon. So please hold your applause while I welcome some special guests. We ask that the past honorees stand for this when I mention your name. Mark Burgell, Kevin Beverly, Robbie Brewer, Terry Ford, Saul Graham, Clark Kendall representing Cliff Kendall, Sid Kramer, Carmen Larson, Bruce Lee. You can stand, okay. Eris Martirosian, Jorge Restrepo, Will Schlossenberg, Jim Soltes, Jim Sweet, and Carol Trewick. Thank you for being here. Yes, big round of applause. We also have with us this afternoon, or I should say, it's still morning? Yeah, it's still morning. Okay. From the Maryland General Assembly, Lily Chi and Ariana Kelly. From the Montgomery County Board of Education, Pat O'Neill, Rebecca Smondrowski, Shebra Evans, and Jeanette Dixon. Welcome. From the Montgomery County Public Schools, Superintendent Jack Smith, or he might be on the way. Maryland Department of Aging Secretary Rona Kramer. Okay. See, it's good when you have your own cheering section, so we know you're here. Former Montgomery County executives Ike Leggett, who's coming, and Sid Kramer, who was already mentioned because he's a former honoree. Former Maryland Attorney General Doug Gansler. Hi, Doug. And former Montgomery County Police Chief Tom Manger, who recently had a retirement party. Congratulations to you, Chief. Congratulations. You'll always be Chief to us, right? Tom Manger, Chief for life. And also from the Montgomery County Council, who are about to come, we have Andrew Friedson and Craig Rice, who are on their way. So thank you, everyone. So we have 4 additional business leaders who will be honored as new members of the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame today. They come from diverse backgrounds, which is not surprising considering how diverse Montgomery County is, and each represents the determination, the dedication, and the entrepreneurial spirit that makes success possible. Each will be honored with a plaque displayed here at the universities of Shady Grove and Montgomery County Conference Center. And in addition to honoring these accomplished men and women, proceeds from this afternoon's events support scholarships program at USG. So that is what's really important. The mission behind this, yes, we want to honor the people who are making such a difference in the county, but it's also for a good cause to help scholarships here. So now I want to introduce the individuals behind the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame. Larry Rosenblum, who is a fellow University of Maryland alumni, a partner at Grossberg Company, and this has happened today. For more than 95 years, Grossberg Company has offered the highest quality tax and accounting services to its clients and community. The company has grown as the county has grown, and it has grown a lot, and has thrived as the county has thrived. Ken Cook and Drew Flott are co-presidents and CEOs of Revere Bank, and they're coming. Since its founding more than a decade ago, Revere Bank has been committed to being the small business bank of choice for the Washington-Baltimore corridor. Revere Bank recently entered into an agreement to be acquired by Sandy Spring Bank, also headquartered in Montgomery County, and this new partnership will preserve Revere's commitment to community banking by providing high-level service to both clients and the community. The Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame would also like to thank all the sponsors, each of whom is listed in the program and scrolling on the screen. So if you could take a look in the programs to see who they are, because this event would not be possible without the sponsor support. So we want to thank all the sponsors for making this possible and making it successful. So thank you to everyone who is here as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Larry Rosenblum.
Thank you, Anyang, our MC for life. You know, when we all started 8 years ago, she was 18. So, and I was 35. On behalf of Grossberg Company, Revere Bank, soon to be Sandy Spring Bank, and the universities at Shady Grove, we thank you for joining us this morning. In the spirit of Halloween, for those who are new to this event, you're in for a treat. No tricks today, just treat. For those of you who have been here before, you're kind of in for the same treat. We're here to celebrate 4 of Montgomery County's outstanding business leaders. You probably couldn't help but notice this year's class is made up mostly of women. In fact, to better fit in, Bryant offered to wear a dress today. We told him that wasn't necessary. In the spirit of political correctness, we needed a token male. And that was a joke. Brian's not a token. Brian, in fact, is a titan. So what's the common thread that runs through our honorees? This year's honorees, as well as our prior honorees. Well, I'm glad you asked. Besides being very successful in business, they've leveraged their expertise, experience, unique abilities to help make this a better place for all. They could have simply made their money and gone home. Instead, they chose to devote their precious extra time to lead nonprofits, to mentor others, to contribute to charitable organizations, and to be models for future business leaders. When we began planning the Hall of Fame, we talked about celebrating the business community, patting ourselves on the back, serving lobster and champagne, literally eating up the profits, maybe even brass band, fireworks. But instead, we chose to follow the inspiration of our honorees. We chose to use this occasion to invest in the future of Montgomery County. We chose to make the best investment we could. We chose to invest in education, namely create scholarships for deserving students at USG. And we're so proud to announce that through these efforts, through the help of all of you and many others, we've broken our annual record by raising almost $200,000  000 this year. 200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,000 $200,0 That brings our total in the 8 years of over $1.2 million. So to put this in perspective, look around and see all the people in this room. Now double it. Then add another room full, and that's how many students we've helped. It's not too late to contribute this year. You can use the cards in your program, and of course we appreciate all the help that we've gotten. This allows those to get a college education who otherwise couldn't, and that is an extraordinary help to all of us. Not only do we help to create an educated workforce, but we help to enhance our community. And like I said, I think that's the best investment we could make. In closing, no applause? I want to thank our Hall of Fame committee. Please stand, all of you. They do an outstanding job putting this event on. They do all the work, and I'm just the window dressing. Let me also thank our hosts, USG, for an outstanding meal and their, just wonderful welcome that they give us. Let me also embarrass my old friend by introducing our co-founder, who used to be known as H.L. Ward. H.L., where are you? Okay, like I said, there are no breaks in our program, so please enjoy your lobster and champagne very quietly. It's my pleasure to introduce the co-CEO of Revere Bank, who enthusiastically stepped into the shoes of co-founder Monument Bank, my friend Ken Cook.
First of all, thank you to everyone here for making the time. By the way, I only get my news from Channel 4. I read nothing, I watch nothing else. I get up at 2:15 just so I can be ready when you get on, okay? So thank you. First of all, Revere Bank is proud to continue our support for the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is dedicated to not only recognizing our local business leaders, but also raising money, obviously, to help local students achieve their dream of getting a college education. The university's at Shady Grove Scholarship Fund has a direct impact on our students who live right here in our community, offering a greater sense of belonging and making a real difference in their lives. As Larry may have stated, over 750 students have been impacted so far by the funds raised by this event. It's a big number. This is our 8th year, and while Larry and HL are modest people, this event was their brainchild personally, and I'd like us to give HL and Larry another round of applause, please. So when I speak in front of groups, I often discuss the economic circle of life in our communities and the role that banks play in that circle, coincidentally. We provide external capital to businesses which help them grow and become even more successful and prosperous. And that helps those businesses to create jobs and improve their colleagues' life circumstances. So with our modest profits, we give back to the community which has given us their business. So there really is an economic circle of life. And giving back is key to that circle. Larry's already mentioned it. It's in my comments, so it'll be in others today. So as I look at our honorees and congratulate Jane, Brian, Linda, and Sophie, here's what I see. I see very successful business people who make it a priority to not just create a successful business, but who are leaders who lead by example in making their community a better place to live and work via all of their civic involvement, their time, and financial commitments. They give back, and I want to thank each one of them for doing so. For our young people here today, connect yourself to leaders like our honorees and follow their example as you the younger folks in this room, are our future, and they are your best teachers. Of course, you also need your 4-year degree here at the universities of Shady Grove. So before Larry runs me off the stage, I'll mention a couple of brief quotes and then round out my remarks. The first quote is from a gentleman named Andy McIntyre. It says, "If you think education is expensive, try ignorance." There's a great point there. Second is from a young man named Benjamin Franklin. Drew, I think he was one of our first employees at Revere Bank. Benjamin Franklin said, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." And I'll add to that, a great education pays dividends forever. I think I have said this in other venues. I think the gift of an education is probably the single best gift you can give someone. And so a couple final comments. First, you may have seen that Revere Bank is being acquired by merging with Sandy Spring Bank. Sandy Spring will continue to be the co-lead sponsor of this great event. So we'll see you here again next year. So thank you, Sandy Spring. And Sandy Spring bought a table this year. Where's Fred? Fred? There he is. Thank you, Fred. And his colleagues. They bought a table this year. And beyond Revere's sponsorship this year, individuals on our board have also purchased a separate table. And I wanted to thank the board of directors individually of the bank and thank them for their support. It was very kind of them to step up. When Larry called me and said, "We're way behind in fundraising this year, even though we just sent another record." So good move, Larry. I'll be better prepared when I get the call next year. So finally, please help us continue to change lives by making your donation today. Larry's already told you where the envelope is. And we really appreciate being part of this fine event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ken. You're my new best friend, and I'm hiring you as my agent. I very much appreciate it. It's now my pleasure to introduce today's featured speaker. Dr. Bob Corrett has served as Chancellor of the University System of Maryland since July of 2015. Early in his tenure as Chancellor, he established the priorities of access and affordability, college completion, academic and research excellence, and workforce development. Under his leadership, the USM has expanded partnerships with the business community and embraced a more entrepreneurial approach, positioning the system as a vital economic and workforce engine for Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Bob Corrett.
Well, I was brought here under false pretenses. Initially, they sent me an email saying, "Would you like to be at the event and honor Linda Gooden, my chair of my board?" And I said, "That'd be great." And then they said, "Well, would you be willing a couple days later to introduce Linda Gooden?" And I said, "Yeah, that would be great." And then they said, "How'd you like to be the featured speaker?" That was like about 10 o'clock this morning. And but I'm very, very pleased to be here. I haven't been here every year in the 5 years I've been Chancellor, but I've been here most of those years, and it's always fun to be back with you. I do want to give a special yell out to Linda as well as the other inductees. Linda has been a terrific board chair, and I like to joke that whatever she dreams up, I have to try to bring to life, but we do a great job in that partnership. And I always like to use the line when I'm with a board member that today she's my favorite board member. But I do have 6 other board members here from the university system. Bill Wood, Ellen Fish, Louis Pope, Robert Wallace, and Ike Leggett are all with us, and we appreciate them all being here, helping to support the event and to support Linda and the other inductees. Let me also thank all of the individuals involved in putting these events together. You know, we all enjoy these kinds of events. Many of us have done many of these over the last several decades. But it's the people behind the scenes, some of whom were mentioned earlier, that are just so critical to making them happen. We all show up. Sometimes we dream them up. But the people that are actually pulling the details together are critical, as are the leaders that provide them with the vision. So Larry, Ken Cook, And in this year, and among the others, Drew Flott, we appreciate all that you've done to, one, conceive this in some cases, and to continue to nurture it and move it forward. And on Yang, I don't get up at 2:15, I get up at 5, but you're making me feel like a slacker, but we appreciate you being with us every year also. You know, when I became chancellor, and some of you know me, I've been in the system 3 times, starting in 1974, so I've provided about 35 years of my life to the system in 3 different stays. So I've seen the system evolve, and I've seen Shady Grove evolve as first a thought, and now about to be a 4-building complex, and I've seen Montgomery County continue to evolve. But one of the reasons I was brought back as chancellor was because I've always had a focus on business development, business partnerships, and in many ways, the roles that university plays as economic engines for their communities. You know, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan said many years ago, if you want to build a great city, first build a great university and wait 200 years. And there's a lot of truth to that if you look at the great cities around the world. So we have worked as a system and have evolved as what we call the new system since the late 80s, where we merged the 5 University of Marylands and the 6 state universities together to become that economic engine. We not only provide education and a lot of things related to social well-being, but we are involved in economic, lost the sound there, involved in economic development in so many different ways. For example, as a system today, we bring in about $1.4 billion in federal R&D, and we're one of the top institutions in the country in terms of that. As a matter of fact, because of some new legislation and new rankings, we'll be among the top 10 public research universities in the country from an R&D perspective. We also have 3 research parks, which house 300 tenants and over 10,000 jobs. We have 10 business incubators with 175 corporate tenants. And so that's the foundation of the economic base we're providing as a system here to the state. What we've done more recently, and I would say this has been true in the last 8 to 10 years, is really to focus on the tech transfer aspect. That is, taking our IP and doing something with it other than just creating it. And so taking that IP, starting new companies, and taking products from bench to bedside or bench to home. And we're doing that much more quickly than we ever dreamed we could. We are creating roughly 100 companies a year as a system, and many of those stay here and mature here. And we're doing all that we can to continue to do that, and to, as they mature, continue to let them grow here, because as many heads of large companies like Northrop Grumman or Lockheed or others say, you can only become a big company if you start off as a small company. And so we want to nurture them moving forward. A couple of key points to help us with that. The university system, through its board, has created about a decade ago a tech transfer committee. It's an economic development / tech transfer committee that is staffed by the board members and is driven by the board itself, which really began this focus. And at the time, we were producing about 20% of the companies each year that we do today, so it's had a huge impact. We also expanded, for those of you that are academics, it's very hard in the tenure process to be involved in business-type research, i.e. proprietary research, either defense or corporate, if it can't be published. Because if you can't publish it, it's not going to count towards your promotion and your tenure. So we have provided more flexible rules. This has obviously been done on the campuses to allow for proprietary and defense research to be counted for promotion and tenure in certain ways. And that has allowed for much more flexibility in terms of the type of research that we're able to do, and also provides us with an enhanced revenue stream for that research going forward. We had a forced marriage legislatively a few years ago called MPower, where we took our 2 biggest research universities, Baltimore, the professional schools, and College Park, and said, we really want you to work more closely together. And the legislation actually put into legislation, into law, that the University of Maryland today is comprised of 2 independent institutions with 2 independent presidents, one in Baltimore, one in College Park, and together they are the University of Maryland, which now allows us to, in many ways with the federal government, merge our numbers, like our research dollars, so that our rankings more truly reflect the kind of research that's going on those combined campuses. I also, one of the first moves I made as chancellor was to create a vice chancellor for economic development. brought in a guy named Tom Sadowski, who's still with me. He's worked in both Baltimore County and Harford County, has worked statewide, and is doing a great job helping to leverage all that's going on our 12 campuses. I would say that a couple of last things that are critically important. I worked with Ron Daniels, the president of Johns Hopkins. We were appointed by the governor to head up a study on the future of economic development for the state of Maryland with a particular focus on cybersecurity and bio and life sciences. And what we found was we were initially looking at how to become stronger in bio and life sciences because we're probably number 3 in the country behind Boston and the Bay Area of San Francisco area. And we still are number 3, but we're a strong number 3. But what we did find is we're number 1 in cyber by most measures nationally. And so we've sort of changed our energy a bit to say we want to be better and better in bio and life sciences, but we don't want to lose any ground on the cyber side. And so we are working with the Maryland Technology Infrastructure Fund, trying to get more appropriations out of the governor and the legislature to help nurture a whole series of things that will relate to increasing our energy in those 2 arenas and help us maintain those rankings, which really means companies, jobs, and people living here and working here. The 2 last things I'll mention, we started our own investment fund called the Maryland Momentum Fund. The board, with approval of the board, we put $10 million of our reserve funds in that investment fund with the idea that with a group of experts, we would select companies that come either from faculty, staff, students, or alumni, or individuals in one of our incubators or research parks and invest in them. And we have now invested in about 10 companies. The range of investments goes from as small as $250,000 to a little over $1 million. But every dollar we put in is matched by a minimum of 3 to 5 other dollars by other investors. And so we've been able to take something on the order of, at the moment, I think on the order of $3 million in investments and ratcheted that up to about $16 million in co-investments. We've worked in a number of companies. I'm not going to mention them all among the 10, but they're very different. Wave Engine, Mfire, Zesty, etc. They're in the areas such as high-tech stoves. They're in the areas of beverages, high-caffeine beverages, medical therapeutics of different types, jet engines, construction materials, and a whole variety of other areas. So you might think everybody's looking at technology. There are a whole series of products coming out of our campus that are highly valuable and potential investment sites for us. And we will, as those products mature and hopefully become successful companies, gain equity in those companies from the investments we've put in them. One of the investments that was made prior to the Momentum Fund was with a company called Harpoon Medical, which sold recently for $175 million, and with the earnout could be $300 or so million. And University of Maryland, Baltimore actually had the brains to invest in that company and is doing quite well financially from that investment. The last thing I'll mention is something very close to my heart. A huge part of what we do for both economic development and education is workforce. Our job is to take the students of tomorrow, give them the kind of educational background they need to become the citizens of the future. We have 173,000 students on our campuses today, and those 173,000 are mostly from Maryland. 80% of them are from Maryland, and we don't see that changing. And 40,000 of them graduate every year. Almost 25% of them graduate every year. And about 80% of those graduating stay here initially. And the more we can do that, the better off we are. I like to talk about workforce, but I use the term citizens who go to work, educated citizens who go to work. We don't want to just put out people who are skilled and sort of in dead-end jobs. We want people who have the educational background to continue to grow in those jobs, continue to evolve to be whatever they want to be, which in these days can be several careers in their lifetime, and equally important, to become part of the society they serve. That citizenry and citizenship is a huge part of what we try to embellish in the educational outcomes of an educated citizen, and we are very, very, very much involved in that. We talked to the governor when I first was appointed. He had been governor 6 months. He said, let's do something together. I said, well, let's build a workforce together, and he gave me $6.7 million the first year. Unfortunately, the second year we had a freeze. We didn't get any money. The third year he said, I'll give you 2 if you match it with 8. So we did that. And he said, but if you do that for me and I get reelected, I'll give you 20 the year I'm reelected. We got the 20. We're very, very excited about that. And we're hoping he'll give us 10 more next year for a total of almost $40 million in base to help us produce about 3,000 more graduates a year, all in STEM and health professions, many of them here at Shady Grove in the new building that will be opening up next week. So the Workforce Initiative is a very, very exciting part of what we're doing. The regional centers, Shady Grove being the granddaddy of our regional centers, a huge part of our future. We also have a center growing well in Hagerstown and a new center that we are operating in Southern Maryland that we'll be building a new research facility next to because of the autonomous vehicle industry down there. Lots of exciting things going on across the system. So let me end by saying, again, congratulations to all the inductees for what they have done and is reflected in the awards they're getting today, but thank them for all that they've done for the University System of Maryland in some cases, for Shady Grove in particular in most cases, and for the state and the region in general. All of that is very much appreciated. Let's give the honorees one more round of applause. As I mentioned, we're about to open up a new chapter here at Shady Grove with the opening of Building 4, the Biomedical Science and Engineering building. And it is particularly focused on meeting the workforce needs of this region, as you would expect. We have spent my team and I have spent the better part of the last 4.5 years getting campuses to design the programs that will go in this building. And we've encouraged them to do that in the best way possible by bribing them and giving them the workforce money that the governor has given us. And that is what has really greased the skids to make the program development that's going to occur in that building happen. It's largely going to be in the STEM arena and the health professions arena. It's an exciting new addition to our regional higher education centers. And today we have a video to give you a preview of what that building is and will do for Montgomery County. Thanks again for having me here today.
For nearly 20 years, the universities at Shady Grove has been providing students with opportunities to complete baccalaureate and graduate degrees in a variety of fields offered on campus by our 9 university partners. But one thing we wanted to bring to the campus, to take USG to the next level, is a state-of-the-art laboratory facility that will enable us to bring much-needed and in-demand STEM programs into Montgomery County. The new Biomedical Sciences and Engineering building, USG's 4th education building, will prepare students for the jobs of the future and build the workforce we need to support economic development in the region and the state.
My UMBC colleagues and I are really excited about this new Biomedical Sciences and Engineering facility because it's going to have all kinds of programs in there that can make a big difference. It will give students opportunities that they've not had here in Montgomery County, in a county that is known as a hotbed for science and tech. And so this facility will be a game changer.
Translational science is the translation of scientific discoveries out of the lab and making them commercialized products that will actually save people's lives. So in a company, that could require a lot of different functions. You have your research and development units, you have your clinical trials unit, biomanufacturing folks, and so we're training students on those different functions of what they might do if they work for a biotech company in the area. We'll have a cell and tissue culture lab, a general biology lab. They'll be able to learn the newest techniques with the newest equipment.
School of Dentistry's goal at Shady Grove is to work collaboratively with other institutions from across the University System of Maryland to create innovative interprofessional programs and learning opportunities. The dental clinic is the cornerstone of our innovative educational programs. The clinic will help enrich the knowledge and clinical experience of our dental hygiene, and postgraduate students. The facilities are state-of-the-art and very impressive. The facility includes 24 dental operatories, several medical examination rooms, radiology suites, as well as simulation laboratories to train our students, and a distance learning conference room.
The first program that we'll be bringing to the University at Shady Grove is a degree in embedded systems and the Internet of Things. Today, the Internet is really there to serve people, person-to-person connection, Facebook and so on, and facilitating communications like that. But devices are becoming more sophisticated and they themselves can wirelessly connect to the networks that we have. And they need to have advanced computing systems inside that in order to digest and sort of figure out the information that they're seeing and change that into, just from raw data, into useful information. And with the new building that's going up here to house them, we're very excited about the potential that those offer. Having 3 programs, first in embedded systems and the Internet of Things from the electrical engineering department, then followed up by a biocomputing engineering degree from our bioengineering program, and then finally a program in autonomy and mechatronics brought by collaborations between the aerospace engineering program and the mechanical engineering program will represent, I think, 3 really landmark focus programs that will bring a specialized flavor to the area.
My name is Mikala Braha, and I'm a senior in the University of Maryland College Park's Biological Sciences program at USG, and I am the USG Student Council President. I also work at IBBR, the Institute for Bioscience and Biotechnology Research, right next door to USG, and I'm so excited that I'll soon be taking classes in the new BSc building.
Employers will benefit, the community will benefit, and most importantly, students will benefit from the exceptional academic and professional STEM degree programs that our partner universities will bring to the BSc, to USG, and to our region.
Okay, it is now time to present the new inductees into the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame. All right. We begin with Jane Fairweather, a 30-year veteran. Yes, you can applaud again. A 30-year veteran of the residential real estate business. Yep. And a true pillar of the Maryland real estate community. The Jane Fairweather team has been acknowledged as one of the very best in Montgomery County, the Washington metropolitan area, and the Mid-Atlantic region. Working with her team, Jane has sold thousands of homes, and her lifetime sales exceed $1 billion. That's with a B. Jane is also recognized as an expert on the Washington area real estate market. She has appeared on television and has been featured in many publications. She's testified in Annapolis on the state of the real estate market and has delivered a state of the market speech at the Greater Bethesda Chamber of Commerce for more than a dozen years. And beyond her professional achievements, Jane plays an active role in the community. She served on Montgomery County Executive Ike Leggett's Economic Advisory Council. He is here too, and he's part of the Board of Regents, if you didn't know that. She's also past chair of the Greater Bethesda Chamber of Commerce, the current chair of the Bethesda Metro Improvement Task Force, is president emeritus of Imagination Stage as well. She also runs the Jane Fairweather Community Service Scholarship Award, presented to one student from each of the 3 Bethesda area high schools annually, and she's done that for more than 20 years. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jane Fairweather.
I am honored and delighted to be included in this austere club of business luminaries. I count many of the past inductees as my mentors and friends. Many are in the audience today, and I want to thank you for being my business and community service role models over these many years. Not everyone is lucky enough to have good role models to help them along their way in life. I am grateful that I had role models throughout my life. Each one helped me reach the next step on my journey. I believe each one of us has a responsibility to inspire, nurture, instruct, and raise up the next generation of business leaders in Montgomery County, and to devote either money or your time, or both, to this endeavor. I have devoted much of my time and resources over the last 20 years mentoring Ulashe Sagun. I first met Ulashe as a young 3rd grade girl, newly arrived with her family from Nigeria after a dangerous escape from the drug wars in her country. they arrived penniless to Montgomery County. I became her mentor when the Rotary Club went into a partnership with Bethesda Elementary School. For 20 years, I helped pay for school, clothes, and housing. But most importantly, I gave Ulashay the social skills and emotional support she needed to help her to adjust to her new country and become a productive American student. Today, I am proud to say that Ulashay is in graduate school at the University of Pennsylvania. Thank you. Education is the ticket to the American dream for Ulashay and for all children, especially children from similar backgrounds. I want to stress the value and impact that this relationship has had on my life. I saw firsthand how poverty and discrimination can discourage and stifle a child's aspirations and motivation to reach their American dream. How transformational would it be if everyone in this room mentored a student in need at the universities of Shady Grove? Think of the impact we could have on their lives and the benefits we would derive from these relationships. I am ready to make that commitment today, and I challenge all of you to join me. Thank you.
Jane, thank you so much. And what a testament to your commitment to the community. I would love to meet Ulashay myself. Our next inductee this afternoon is Bryant Folger, the partner and chairman of the board of directors and member of the investment committee of Folger Pratt. Folger Pratt is a real estate investment and development firm which was established in 1963 and headquartered in Montgomery County. It has extensive experience in mixed-use, transit-oriented projects. The company has developed more than 18 million square feet of office, retail, and multifamily projects. In his current role, Bryant draws on more than 40 years of real estate and management experience to provide direction and oversight of the CEO's vision and strategy. Folger Pratt has contributed significantly to the transformation of several parts of the DC region, especially Silver Spring. I grew up there. I know how much that's transformed over the decades. These developments projects include the award-winning $350 million downtown Silver Spring retail complex and the 1.2 million square foot headquarters of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Brian is also a lifelong resident of Montgomery County and remains committed to community service. He was a member of Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's transition team, has been active with the Montgomery Business Development Corporation, and involved with the Montgomery County Business Advisory Panel. In addition, he has worked with the Greater District of Columbia chapter of the Leadership Council for the Mayo Clinic and is a trustee emeritus of the Bullis School in Potomac, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bryant Folger.
I'm not going to be nearly as inspirational as Jane. So the other evening I was with two really dear friends, Ron and Debbie Harrison, and those of you who know Debbie, she is the daughter of Bill Marriott, and we were just chatting and she said, oh, by the way, congratulations on this award you're getting, and I panicked immediately because her father is a member of this Hall of Fame. And growing up with Debbie, my worry has always been that Bill still thinks I'm the twit I was when I was in high school. And the notion of he and I being in the same Hall of Fame, I think he'd drive over here in the middle of the night and either rip his plaque or my plaque off the wall. Probably both. I'm not the brightest guy in the world, but I do recognize and understand that this is a recognition not for me, but for Folger Pratt. And I can't tell you how proud I am of Folger Pratt and the people and the people that we've been involved with, the people who work with us. I look around and I see people who have had influence on me. I see Bob Buchanan and Jerry Pasternak. I see Baba Young and Taub. I see John Peterson and other people here, Bruce Lee. Others who have really had an influence on me and helped us indirectly become the company that we are. My father started this company, didn't give my brother Clayton and my brother-in-law Brent and I much beyond opportunity, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Brent and Clayton have been my partners, but far more than that, they're my best friends, my next-door neighbors, brothers, if you will, and I love them, and I'm so grateful for everything that they've contributed to me and to help this company be what it is. And I'm also so impressed with what we call Generation 3, the next generation of leaders that we have at Folger Pratt. And we have the best group of people there that we've ever had. And we're doing the most exciting things that we've ever done, not just throughout the DMV, but now in the West, in California, and in Utah. So I couldn't be more proud of where we've been, and I couldn't be more excited about where we're going. As was mentioned, I'm a lifelong resident of Montgomery County. I've lived here all my life. I met my wife, my lovely wife, Mary Ann, who's here with us today. We've raised 6 children here in Montgomery County. And we've done it because this is, in my view, about the best place to raise a family on the planet. But I don't want to take that for granted. And so I certainly hope that as business leaders, as civic leaders, as government, we can continue to work together and perhaps work even more effectively to make sure that the future is in Montgomery County, so that this continues to be a place where anybody can come and live and raise a family and work and have a wonderful experience and find great joy and happiness in life. Thank you very much.
I thought that was inspirational. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Our next inductee is Linda Gooden, former Executive Vice President of Lockheed Martin's Information Systems and Global Solutions business. She is currently the chair of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents and serves on the board of directors for General Motors, the Home Depot, and others. Linda is a 40-year veteran of the aerospace and defense industry. Prior to working at Lockheed, Linda also worked with General Dynamics, was vice president of Lockheed Martin's Software Support Services Unit, and was the founder and president of Lockheed Martin Information Technology, a business unit she grew to $2.5 billion. Linda was named one of the top 50 most powerful women in business for 3 consecutive years by Forbes magazine. She was recognized as one of Washington's most powerful women by Washingtonian magazine. Black Enterprise magazine named her among the 100 most powerful executives in corporate America. In 2006, she was recognized as Black Engineer of the Year by U.S. Black Engineer and IT magazine. Linda is also a champion for public service. She has served numerous higher education institutions, as well as the Maryland Business Roundtable for Education. She also serves on civic leadership boards, including the Eisenhower Fellowships Program, AFCEA International, and the American Heart Association. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Linda Gooden.
My story begins 12 years ago when Stu stormed into my office and explained why I needed to be part of Shady Grove. This is truly a special honor. I would like to thank Lawrence and Ike and the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame for the award and for the kind words. I'm honored and humbled to be recognized by the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame and immortalized on that wall of plaques. Today, I'm reminded of the sentiment put forward by Martin Luther King and Elijah Cummings. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I believe we're all here today because we care about the education of the next generation of youth. I believe we're all here today because collectively we understand that education can make a positive and lasting difference in one's life. I believe we're here to celebrate and honor 4 individuals and those who came before them who joined the ranks of others in demonstrating the value of playing it forward. I believe we're also here because we understand the value of the universities at Shady Grove and the value that it plays to the future of the community, the state, and the nation. I know the universities at Shady Grove combine the very best qualities of Maryland public higher education through a multi-university collaboration with a special focus on workforce development in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. The universities at Shady Grove provide an education that is accessible, affordable, and of high quality for its students. Again, thank you for this honor, and thank you for all that you do so that children, all children, but especially children who look like me, can have an access to education, which is the ticket to a better future. Thank you.
We now come to our fourth and final inductee this afternoon, Sophia Parker, the CEO of DS Federal, Inc. Yes. Sophia Parker came to the U.S. from Taiwan with a BA in English Literature, planning to pursue a master's degree in mass communications. Instead, she opted for a second bachelor's degree, this one in accounting, and becoming a certified public accountant. After a successful career in the private sector, government contracting, Sophia established DS Federal in 2007 as a boutique government contractor distinguished by its sharp focus on customer service. Since then, DS Federal has expanded with over 160 employees in 4 states. In 2015, the U.S. Small Business Administration named Sophia as its Maryland Small Business Person of the Year. In March of 2016, DS Federal was honored again by the SBA as a top woman-owned small business. And in 2017, when Sophia was recognized as the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce's Small Business Leader of the Year. So eager to reach beyond this region, Sophia launched the IDEA Foundation in 2013 as a nonprofit dedicated to empowering women and children worldwide through health services improvement, skill building, and financial independence. The IDEA Foundation has benefited individuals and organizations from around the world. Sophia is the living example of the American dream, a businesswoman and philanthropist. She is dedicated to helping others to realize their dreams as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sophia Parker.
I will speak slow to make sure that you get your dessert, just in case dessert's coming. For me to stand here today is magical. I was born in Taiwan to a life of poverty. Being inducted to the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame here, the 10th most prosperous county in this country, is transformational. Montgomery County embraces diversity. 40% of our residents are immigrants. This is also a county that encourages women in business and public service. And Lily Chi, thank you so much for you do, representing us in the state. My company, DS Federal, is deeply rooted in Montgomery County. I built this company from the ground up. I started a company when I was 50 years old. Many people have joined me over the years to build this company, and I'm deeply indebted to them. So thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Chi Xiang, for lending me the money with no collateral and very low interest. And Jean and Katia, thank you. You are the foundation of our success. I have recently published a book, and I'm excited to tell you that became the #1, hi Gigi, #1 bestseller the first day it was out. And this book is about how I was able to transform from a seemingly hopeless situation into prosperity in this county. In the book, I tell stories about women around the world who lived in very destitute situations, and yet they were able to bring hope to themselves and the people around them. And I hope that this book will help you to find the courage and the light when you think there is no hope. As the first Asian woman to be inducted in the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame, I know that I had a lot of helping hands. And I also want to thank my family, my brother, my sister here, and my beautiful children, Anna Parker and Michael Parker, and my fabulous grandchildren, Rowan and Elizabeth Gleason. We are combined generations of Montgomery County residents. And I also want to thank my ancestors, especially the women in my family who have paved the way for who I am and where I am today. In life, riches doesn't come just from gold. It also comes from the ability to lift up human spirits. And let us help to create hope and prosperities for the young people here, the students here, who are the future leaders. We can help, yes we can, just by opening up the envelope in front of you, donate money to help the students here. Do you know that the University of Shady Grove brings together 9 different public universities here and offers 80 academic degrees here, all for the folks in Montgomery County, where we all call home. And thank you so much.
Did you say you started your company when you were 50, not 15? Just amazing. I think every single awardee today has been so inspirational. The message that resonates with me about helping others and lifting other people up along the way in your journey to success is so important, and each one embodies that entrepreneurial spirit, but at the same time, the giving spirit, the spirit of charity, and I think that's just so wonderful. So we celebrate each and every one of the inductees today. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause. So for the past several years, we've heard directly from a student here at USG who is a Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame scholarship recipient. And in a clear sign of the Hall of Fame and the associated scholarship is now a well-established success. And today we will hear from Jeffney Rantung-Kramer, a graduate of the University of Maryland Robert H. Smith School of Business at USG. Jeffney is a business and finance graduate from Montgomery College and received her bachelor's degree in business administration, management, and operations with a specialization in entrepreneurship in 2017. She is currently a business rule and process associate at Freddie Mac in Washington, D.C. That is awesome. And she is a former Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame scholarship recipient. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming Jeffney and congratulating her and all the other Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame scholarship recipients.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeffney Rantung-Kramer. I graduated from the University of Maryland Smith School of Business here at Shady Grove and received my bachelor's degree in business management and operations back in 2017. I was born in Indonesia, and my parents immigrated here in 1991. I grew up in the DC metro area. I've lived in Arlington, Chevy Chase, Silver Spring, and Rockville. I went to middle school in Rockville, and I graduated from high school in Bethesda. As I got ready to graduate from high school, I did what most high school seniors were doing, which is plan for my college education. As I did this, I learned, however, that I did not qualify for majority of scholarships, FAFSA, or any form of federal financial aid, be it grants or even low-interest loans from the government. This was because of the fact that I am not a US citizen. So what does this mean? This meant that I had to pay my way through school. It meant that I had to work 3, 4, sometimes 5 jobs. It meant working from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. On weekends, or 17 hours, if you're counting that, running from one job to the next and coming to the library at 11 p.m. on weekdays to study when I finished working and complete my assignments. I've held multiple jobs, from being a blackjack dealer to serving in a restaurant or being the overnight concierge. And of course, balancing all of that with an internship to further my career and business experience. I know what you're thinking. She's ambitious and driven. She's a really good planner, obviously, but also flexible and good at maintaining the chaos. She clearly likes to do the impossible and loves a good challenge. She's crazy, maybe. Sure, maybe some of these things are true. But what's also true is the fact that I've cried in my car and taken a 10-minute nap before heading into class after a sleepless night. I've fallen asleep after drinking coffee because I was so tired. I've sat in my car at 11 o'clock at night, cried and wondered if I could keep this up and if I was really going to graduate and get a good job that would lead to a career. In a parallel universe, otherwise known as my life outside of academics and work, I met someone, wonderful, authentic, funny, and sweet. I met my future husband, Stephen Kramer. We dated for a bit and developed an awesome friendship, but with all the free time that I had, I finally told him that there was no point in continuing to date if I could not spend real quality time needed for a relationship, like go on actual dates. In fact, I told him that I really would like to continue to see him, but if he really wanted to see me for good humor, the only time I actually had was just if he visited me at my multiple jobs. And guess what? He actually did. He brought me coffee to make sure I would last another 15-hour shift and would stay as long as he could to keep me company, if it was possible. Needless to say, our friendship and relationship blossomed, and we got married on September 8th, 2018. The very next day, thank you. The very next day, we flew to a small island in Hawaii, Molokai, for a honeymoon. 8 days later, he was missing, and our story became local and national news. Sorry. For 4 nights, I stayed wide awake on his sofa, listening to the ocean waves while I waited, wondered, and cried, hoping they would find Stephen and bring him back safely. I didn't know anyone on the island, except for the fire and rescue and police who were searching for him. I was alone, incredibly anxious and afraid. On September 21st, they found his body. My husband, Stephen, became my late husband when I learned that he had passed away during a hiking accident in the mountains. It was during both of these moments, sitting alone in the car and waiting helplessly for my husband, that I asked myself, how is this realistic? How is this fair? And where was God? Where was God when I was by myself on an island, waiting for my husband to return? Where was God when I was crying in my car, tired and discouraged from working 17 hours straight and going to the library late at night? I learned and realized that God was right there when I was crying in my car, trying to figure out how I would pay or strategize taking another semester and juggling more jobs and internships. God was right there in that moment when I checked my email and I learned I had been awarded a Business Hall of Fame scholarship. God was right there when I was in the midst of all the chaos, anxiety, and grief of learning that my husband passed away on our honeymoon. God was right there when I opened the door to more than 50 strangers who offered food, a hug, smile, their vehicle, or just to let me know that their brother or uncle or husband was out there looking for him. God was right there at the funeral when I was able to speak about my husband and stand alongside all of my family, because I was lovingly accepted into my new family, the Kramer family. My in-laws, who to this day still care for me and love me as if I was a daughter they raised from the beginning. Again, I know what you're thinking. None of that seemed fair at all. But in the end, what truly matters is that I'm standing here today to say that it's true. What doesn't kill you literally makes you stronger. I'm stronger today because I've worked hard. I've juggled so many things. I am stronger and more empathetic with anyone that I cross paths with, at work or anywhere else. I'm stronger because I choose to keep the love that I have for Stephen very much alive and use that to live his legacy. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it also makes you aware and appreciative of the people that show up in your life to support you. I want to take this moment to say how grateful I am for all of you who made the Business Hall of Fame Scholarship Fund possible. Thank you. I think that the Hall of Fame Scholarship is a clear example of how God sends people to help you out in life and remind you to keep going, even when the going gets tough, that it's not impossible, even when it seems it is, and that there are people in this world who truly care, even when they don't know your story. So again, thank you. Thank you for not necessarily knowing all the stories and lives you've impacted, but choosing to support the Hall of Fame Scholarship still. I think when I asked Tom what the rubric was, because I'm always prepared with the rubric for the speech, he simply said, I just need to make sure to speak about the impact of the scholarship on my life and anything else I wanted to talk about. So what's the impact of the Hall of Fame Scholarship, in case that wasn't clear? Well, it definitely meant I didn't have to work 2 more jobs. It also meant, more importantly, that I could dedicate more time to study, make friends, network, and actually enjoy my experience at the Smith School of Business. Today, I work for Freddie Mac as a business analyst to support the technology and systems that manage the business of underwriting, servicing, and investments for the secondary mortgage market. And just to confirm the math here, that's 1 job. So this past summer, I've been working on a business proposal for a company-wide business case competition, kind of like Shark Tank, that experience at Freddie Mac. I find it interesting that the theme of engagement, so the theme this year is how to improve employee engagement and improve the overall employee experience at Freddie Mac. But again, I find it interesting that the theme of engagement got us to develop an idea on fostering cross-functional collaboration between teams. Many of us work with many teams on a daily and weekly basis. Specifically, how can we build empathy for teams we already work with? I'm happy to say that my team made it to the final round and get to pitch an idea that could impact the culture and employee experience at Freddie Mac. But you see, the ability to empathize is more than just a great way to improve business processes and remove redundancies and improve collaboration in teams at a company. It's what makes incredible leaders, and more importantly, a powerful community and legacy that reminds me very much of the one here at Shady Grove and the Business Hall of Fame community. Thank you.
Jeffany, thank you so much for sharing your truly inspirational story, your grace and your strength and faith through all the experiences you've had, such a testament to your character, and I'm sure all of us will remember what you've shared today, so thank you so much. I now want to take the time to introduce our host for this afternoon, Dr. Stuart Edelstein, the Executive Director of the Universities at Shady Grove. As I mentioned earlier, when the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame held its inaugural event here at 2012, it was announced that all net proceeds of the annual event would go to scholarship programs right here at the Universities of Shady Grove, and Jeffany shows you where those proceeds are going. So you should know that that's all going to great work. USG is an amazing place. 9 different university system of Maryland campuses, Sophia was talking about that earlier, brought together under one roof, offering more than 80 high demand degrees. It's all right here. in Maryland's largest, most economically vital jurisdiction. And since 2002, Dr. Edelstein has been a driving force behind USG's growth, both academic and physical. Under his leadership, USG has expanded its number of participating universities in breadth and depth and of undergraduate and graduate programs, and grown the student enrollment to more than 4,000 students. We were talking earlier about the new Biomedical Sciences and Engineering Education Facility, which is slated to open in just a few days. And we know then USG's impact will become even more profound. So please welcome our host for today, Dr. Stuart Edelstein.
I'm Stu, he's Larry.
So as many of you know, Stu's retiring at the end of June, and we wanted to take a minute to thank Stu for all of his hard work in supporting us from the very beginning when this was just an idea to today, $1.2 million later. So Stu, thanks so much for all you've done for us.
Kind of hard to follow student. Just an incredible human being. And very much like the students who attend USG and are successful because of what we do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Larry, Ken, Andrew, and the entire Business Hall of Fame committee for this very thoughtful recognition. I must say, however, that none of this could have been accomplished without the sustained support of many people, many of whom are in this room. We live in a county, as you've heard from every single one of the inductees, where education is so highly valued and where there's a commitment to provide opportunities to better lives. So I share this recognition with the hardworking staff at USG, with our university partners, our community board of advisors, and all of the many supporters of USG who help our students succeed with their philanthropy, mentorship, and jobs. I want to call out the Business Hall of Fame for heightening awareness of the importance of our business community in our county's economic prosperity, and focusing on its leaders and their service to the great benefit of our county and country. And this includes, of course, your generous support for students at USG who will become your future workforce. The incredible support that this event has provided to students over its 8 years, more than $1 million, more than 750 students, is truly extraordinary. The financial support that our students receive not only provides them with the resources they need to achieve their goals, but also with the incalculable encouragement that comes when someone says, "I believe in you, you can do this." At USG, with our 9 university partners providing programs on this beautiful Montgomery County campus, we work hard to help remarkable students realize their dreams and ambitions for a better life. We are working to build a well-educated and career-ready talent pool of graduates who will fuel the success and growth of businesses and employers throughout the county and the greater region. Young professionals like Jeffany, who have grit, perseverance, and talent, and all of the Business Hall of Fame scholarship awardees before her. How proud we are of all of them. And speaking of building, in just more than a week, we will celebrate the grand opening of our new Biomedical Sciences and Engineering Education Facility. This building and the programs that it will support will take STEM education to the next level. It will be a signature education facility in this county and build that high-tech talent pool that is such in great demand. I do hope that many of you will join us for the grand opening celebration next Thursday, November 7th. It's going to be a great day for Montgomery County, for our state, and for the universities at Shady Grove. I hope some of you can join us for a sneak preview and a quick tour of the building after today's luncheon. And most importantly, as I close, I want to offer my congratulations to all of the Hall of Fame inductees over the years, and especially to this year's outstanding group of honorees, to Jane, Bryant, Sophia, and my good friend and former member of the USG Board of Advisors, Linda. Congratulations to all, and on my behalf of the USG, thank you so much for being here with us.
Congratulations, and thank you for all that you've done. Once again, the inductees are always so impressive. Can we just spend another moment to congratulate all the inductees today who were, yes, no. The Business Hall of Fame would also like to thank the sponsors once again to make this event possible, and for each and every one of you here today for your support to make it possible. We want to encourage you to like the Montgomery County Business Hall of Fame on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. This is a new way. This is how kids communicate. This is what I've been told. That's the only way. Snapchat is next. That's on you. I can't do Snapchat. The floral centerpieces are available, so each person at the table, you can fight over it, can take home the flowers. They're very beautiful. And I want to remind you that parking is complimentary. Validation will be available from one of the student ambassadors or event coordinators here at the event, so get your parking. And in addition, for those interested, as Stu mentioned, Shady Grove is offering 2 tours of the new Biomedical Sciences and Engineering Education Facility following this event. So if you'd like to take part in this, just meet where there are the registration tables out there. You can meet there and where all the Hall of Fame plaques are hanging. So you can go there, get a tour this afternoon. And before everyone takes off, we want all the inductees for today to come and take a picture, and then the past and present also come and take a picture. So please come to the stage before you leave to make sure we have a gorgeous picture of today's event. So thank you everyone for your time. Have a great afternoon and have safe travels.